Welcome back to the Station Field Guide. In this episode, I'll be reviewing the new Mount Dennis station. I'll specifically be looking at the following criteria to base my thoughts: commuter functionality and connectivity, aesthetics, design and ambience, passenger experience and technology, physical accessibility and interior layout, and neighborhood integration and safety. I'll be scoring each criteria out of 10 and providing a final cumulative score at the end. Granted, this one was very difficult to make, as at the time of recording the footage for this episode, the station literally just opened. I recorded the footage for this video on November 17, 2025, also the date will be listed in the description. Let's just get straight into it. Starting things off with commuter functionality and connectivity of this station, I need to assess the following criteria. Starting with location and surroundings worth 3 points. Starting with the location and surroundings of Mount Dennis Station, this station is located near Eglinton Avenue West and Weston Road. This station is mostly accessible by GO Transit or car as of recording this video, though whenever Line 5 Eglinton opens, this station will be the western terminus of Line 5, providing commuters connections to places on Eglinton Avenue, as well as Line 1 Young University at Cedarville and Eglinton stations. There's also the Up Express that now connects to this station, allowing for easy access to Toronto Pearson International Airport for an additional $5.50, or a $4.89 Presto fare. Finally, I think there are a lot of amenities surrounding the station, especially on the nearby Weston Road, so I think I'll give this section a 2.5 out of 3. Initially I was going to go 2 out of 3, but that airport connection is significant enough to bump it up to a 2.5. Plus the Eglinton line connectivity potential down the line. Moving on to the ease of getting there both with and without a car worth 3 points. Now, moving on to getting to the station. While the area surrounding the station is pretty car centric, I guess, it's not the worst I've seen on the Station Field Guide so far. According to the TTC website, there is limited 10-minute parking near the station, although there is no commuter parking, even on the GO Transit side of things. I'll give this section a 2 out of 3, simply because of the limited parking situation, and I couldn't find the parking lot anyways. Now, moving on to the bus connections that are worth 4 points. There are only 6 local TTC routes that connect to the station, where I was somewhat able to see the bus times on the new screens of the station. There's also the GO Transit Kitchener line, which I'm pretty sure now runs every 30 minutes on weekdays, although correct me if I'm wrong, of course. As mentioned in the location and surroundings, having a connection to the Up Express and eventually the Eglinton LRT is a major plus as well, as it provides a connection to the airport and other destinations along Eglinton. I'll give this section a 3 out of 4. As mentioned, the bus connections could be better. To sum up the points for this section, location and surroundings gets a 2.5 out of 3. Ease of getting there both with and without a car gets a 2 out of 3, and bus connections gets a 3 out of 4, for an overall score of 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the aesthetics, design, and ambience of this station, I need to assess the following. Starting with architecture and overall vibe worth 3 points. I surprisingly didn't really like it, if I'm being honest. At the time of recording the footage for the station, it felt surprisingly empty, although maybe that's because I went on a Monday during the middle of the day. The overall vibe is rather interesting, but the station, including the bus terminal, is far too large for my liking, considering this station connects to only 6 local TTC routes. I'll also dock points for this in the passenger experience section as well. My score will be a 1.5 out of 3. Now to get into the cleanliness and upkeep of the station worth 4 points. Since the station is still very new, it felt very clean, including the washrooms and the bus terminal. No issues here, easily a full 4 out of 4 points given here. Moving on to the lighting and comfort worth 3 points. The lighting was also interesting. It looks like there are a lot of strong white lights spread throughout the station. Comfort wise, it wasn't terrible, although it could have been a little bit better. Not too many issues here, I think I'll go 2.5 out of 3. To sum up the points for this section, architecture and overall vibe gets a 1.5 out of 3, cleanliness and upkeep gets a 4 out of 4, and lighting and comfort gets a 2.5 out of 3 for an overall score of 8 out of 10. Moving on to the passenger experience and technology of Mount Dennis Station, I need to assess the following. First of all, station amenities worth 6 points. There are bathrooms at this station, which is always welcome at any station. Other than that, there's not too many amenities in the station itself, and it's quite large for what's actually given. I think I'll go 4 out of 6 for this section, and that's mostly because of the bathrooms and of course that it's a terminal station. Moving on to the ticketing and staff, worth 2 points. Plenty of ticket machines and the main entrance is staffed where the fare gates are. Easy 2 out of 2. Next, tech features including real-time screens, worth 2 points. Plenty of Go Transit real-time screens, as well as Up Express screens located at the Up platform. There are also real-time screens at the TTC portion of the terminal. Easy 2 out of 2 once again. To sum up the points for this section, station amenities gets a 4 out of 6, ticketing and staff gets a 2 out of 2, and tech features including real-time screens gets a 2 out of 2, for an overall score of 8 out of 10. If you guys enjoy watching me talk about Mount Dennis Station or any station on the Station Field Guide in general, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it really motivates me to make more episodes like this. Thank you guys for your support once again. Moving on to the physical accessibility and interior layout, I need to assess the following. Starting with elevators, ramps, and escalators worth 5 points. Being a new station brings plenty of accessible features. Elevators are present, although you might have to take more than one to properly navigate the station. Ramps are present on the Up Express platforms, and accessible shelters are present on the Go and Up platforms. I'll go 5 out of 5 on this section easily. Moving on to signage and overall ease of navigation, worth 5 points. Now, I'll admit, the station was pretty confusing at first to navigate. The Eglinton line is located near the main entrance of the Mount Dennis Station, although getting to the TTC terminal, Go Transit, and Up Express was pretty confusing. Not to mention the long walks and overall giant station that might be a little bit too big for my liking. As mentioned, you'll probably have to take more than one elevator to properly navigate the station. I'll give this section a 2.5 out of 5. To sum up the points for this section, elevators, ramps, and escalators gets a 5 out of 5, signage and overall ease of navigation gets a 2.5 out of 5, for an overall score of 7.5 out of 10. Lastly, moving on to neighborhood integration and safety, I need to assess the following. Starting with nearby amenities, worth 4 points. Most of the nearby amenities are located just to the west of the station on Weston Road, although there are a few amenities to the east as well, including a no-frills supermarket and a recreation center. Cool. Nothing to complain about, so I think I'll go 4 out of 4. Next is overall station safety, worth 3 points. Moving on to overall station safety now. I'll probably repeat what I said before, but this station is just way too big, and the walking distances are just way too long. While the station might be a little bit busier down the line, right now I don't see too much going on in terms of safety, and I think the washrooms being closed doors as opposed to open doors, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'll go 1.5 out of 3. Finally, walkability surrounding the station, worth 3 points. Moving on to the walkability of the station, it's kind of mixed. On the way to the station, I passed through the nearby Black Creek Drive to the east of the station. It didn't really look like a very safe intersection to walk through, not to mention Eglinton Avenue being a major thoroughfare for cars. I think I'll go 1.5 out of 3 on this section as well. To sum up the points for this section, nearby amenities gets a 4 out of 4, overall station safety gets a 1.5 out of 3, and walkability surrounding the station gets a 1.5 out of 3, for an overall score of 7 out of 10. Phew, that was a lot. Now to sum up the pros and cons of the station overall. The top 3 aspects I liked about Mount Dennis Station were the accessibility, although that is the standard for new stations anyway, the cleanliness and upkeep, again, standard for a new station, and the nearby amenities, believe it or not, which wasn't as bad as I thought. Now, the top 3 aspects I disliked about this station are the walkability, or rather the mixed situation regarding the walkability. The lack of local bus connections, although this may improve with Line 5 Eglinton opening. And yeah, as you guys know, the overall size of this station is a big complaint in this video. And that's what I'm going to put in the cons section because it's just way too big. The station's just way too big. Now for my overall thoughts on Mount Dennis Station. Remember that I gave commuter functionality and connectivity a 7.5 out of 10, aesthetics, design, and ambience an 8 out of 10, passenger amenities and technology an 8 out of 10, physical accessibility and indoor layout a 7.5 out of 10, and neighborhood integration a 7 out of 10. To sum up and average the points, I gave Mount Dennis Station a 7.6 out of 10, although the station field guide rules say I have to round that down to a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Station Field Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I certainly did, and it's a very fun journey, and I really do enjoy making these episodes. So I'm flooded with requests right now, but trust me guys, I'll try to get to your requests as soon as I can. And that's all I gotta say, so peace out guys.